now available on e-readers everywhere. From the author of the Simp Trilogy, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Manginas, they look like men, but they act like ladies. And the misadventures of Captain Sable comes, Stop Simping in the Workplace. Learn what mistakes not to make with women and protect your job with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available on e-readers everywhere. I was watching The Bachelorette last night, and it was really sad to see these Afro-American Negroes on my television buck dancing and bojangling in that minstrel show. However, there were some things that anyone could learn regarding the dysfunction displayed on this show. And as I watched this show, and I watched this Bachelorette pretty much deifying and worshiping this white man, I saw the dysfunctional behavior of this Afro-American Negro on display. As I've said before, this Afro-American Negro has no chance of winning this Bachelorette. And the reason why he has no chance of winning this Bachelorette is because he is coming from a submissive position. And when a man comes from a submissive position, a woman pretty much has no respect for him. These guys are approaching this woman thinking that they're going to earn her respect and win her favor, but that's not the case at all, especially as it relates to this Afro-American Negro. And I watched 3 of these Negroes on display, and it was really sad to watch 3 of them in particular. The first one I saw was this kind of nerdy looking guy with these glasses, and I looked at this dude and I said to myself, this guy pretty much has no chance at all because of the way he dresses, the body language he has, and the personality he has. He has absolutely nothing in common with this Negro woman. And the second guy who pretty much has no chance was the guy who she went to school with and was being counseled by in the camp. And this guy pretty much is coming from the position of a simp. He's pretty much coming from the position of having a crush on this woman. He's pretty much seeing her through rose-colored glasses, and he's thinking he's going to earn her respect. And as I listened to her talk about him, she pretty much saw him pretty much like a child. And this guy pretty much, again, thinks he's got all the shot in the world of impressing her, but no chance. That's what he's got. And the reason why he has no chance is because he's coming from the position of a child. She pretty much still sees him as the little kid, and she does not see him as a man. She sees nothing about him to respect or regard, and this is something many of these Afro-American Negro men just don't understand when they go out here to approach Afro-American Negro women. They go out here thinking that they've got a shot, not understanding if she's looking down at you, she has no respect for you. So I look at this guy who's persevering and working as hard as he can, and it's just sad to see that he's still stuck in a state of arrested development, still trying to impress this female like that he's had this crush on since childhood, not seeing that this woman never will see him as a man. Now the third guy who pretty much made me want to shake my head was this DeMario guy, because as I watched him pretty much implode on this show, I thought of the game Mario, Super Mario Brothers, because this Super DeMario brother wound up getting himself played because he tried to play a game on this show. Now this DeMario guy pretty much was bragging about how he had impressed her, how he had showed out, and then at that basketball game, here comes his white girlfriend. And his white girlfriend comes out and busts him out on The Bachelorette and pretty much exposes him for who he truly is. And as I looked at this Super DeMario brother, as he ran into the little white female Goomba and they bounced him off the screen, it was just sad to see. I can't stop laughing because it was just sad to see, because he thought he had enough game to try to play both of these females. And what was really sad about this Negro was how weak his game truly was, because he doesn't break up with the white female. He decides he's going to go just leave her out of nowhere and then just pop up on the show, and nobody's going to go looking for him. And this is what was really sad about this guy's game. He thought he was just going to disappear and the white female wouldn't find him. Then the white female finds him and his whole game is busted up. And what's really sad about seeing that situation after the little white female Goomba bounced Super DeMario brother off the screen was just seeing this Bachelorette go crazy, because watching her go ape was hilarious. She's sitting here talking about honesty and integrity and being an honest female and looking for a man who was honest. And she's on this show with a big weave on the back of her head. That's what was really hilarious about watching this Bachelorette. She's sitting here talking about being honest and having integrity and looking for a man who has good intentions, yet she's on this show with a big weave on her head. And she's sitting here talking about being honest and looking for a good man, yet she's sitting here deifying white men and then being totally dishonest to these black men, telling them that they have a chance when we know no chance. That's what these Negroes got of ever having a relationship with this female. She's pretty much stringing these guys along and pretty much looking for reasons to bounce them. And your DeMario, again, he got bounced off the screen just like Super Mario when he runs into the Goomba. And that's what happened to your DeMario. And what was really even sadder, the saddest of sad things of watching this Bachelorette and watching this DeMario brother get bounced off the screen is that once he gets a second life, what does your DeMario decide to do? He decides not to cut his losses and charge her to the game and keep it moving. No, he decides he's going to go back to this mansion and beg for her to give him another chance. Not understanding that if he's got another woman, he's already doing better than what he's be doing on this show. I mean, if you've got a girlfriend and you're doing all right, why are you going to lower your value by going on this show to try to court a woman with a horse's hair on her head and trying to impress her when you've already got other women? That's what was really sad about watching him go back to beg and plead. He was lowering his value as a man and lowering his worth to other people. He's pretty much saying that he was worthless. And that's what this DeMario was doing. And it pretty much shows the dysfunction of this Afro-American Negro on display as it relates to this black woman. He has to go back and beg and plead. And again, if something ends, you just put a period at the end of it, charge her to the game, and keep it moving. Unfortunately, your Super DeMario brother, once he got his second life, decided to run back into the castle of King Koopa to try to save the princess, and there's nothing to save here. This woman is talking about honesty, and she's not honest at all, and this guy's pretty much ridiculous, and all these guys are going to go in the next episode to go out to confront him, and this is where it gets even more hilarious, because I'm looking at this show, and again, we just see the dysfunction of this Afro-American Negro on display. We see these no-chance Negroes thinking they got a shot. And then we have this female talking about integrity when she has a big weave on her head, talking about honesty with a big weave on her head, and talking about good intentions with a big weave on her head. That was the most hilarious thing for me to see as I watched this show, and to see her talk about honesty when we know all good and well that she pretty much is using these guys like jobbers and pretty much getting ready to bounce them off the screen, just like your Super DeMario brother, and looking for any reason to get rid of them so that she can be in the presence of the white man she deifies, because she was all over those white guys, pretty much looking for their attention and approval. And every time she looks at these Afro-American Negroes, she looks at them in the same way she looks at that guy who she went to school with as a child, and she's looking for any reason to pretty much bounce them off the television screen, just like she did that Super DeMario brother in this last episode. And what was so hilarious about this is that these guys are on this show actually believing they've got a chance when no chance. That's what you've got.